Hi folks, we're finishing up today on our story of how God moved in South Africa, in the South African revival there. I was going to finish yesterday, but there's one last little bit I think that is just worth touching on as well. We talked about how God used Andrew Murray as a catalyst in this revival, but I want to talk just very briefly about one of the major outcomes of this particular move of God. You see, at that time in South Africa, there was major divisions among the people. Now, of course, many of us know about the racial divisions in that country that have happened within our own lifetime. But at that particular moment, there was also loads of social, economic divisions. There was major prejudice against women. I don't know if you remember right back at the start of these videos on the South African revival, I talked about this 15-year-old girl who wanted to get up in that first prayer meeting. She wanted to get up and pray, but the minister was apprehensive. And the reason was because women were not allowed to pray. There was a prejudice, so they were not allowed to pray out loud. There was a prejudice against women. But what happened was, at these prayer meetings, you would walk in and you would see there people from all different backgrounds. The rich, the poor, the black, the white. There would be men, women, all sitting, praying together right next to each other. You'd find people from different ethnic groups who historically have had long-standing divisions, just kneeling beside one another and praying or crying out to God in praise. They were together in unity. And one of the major fruits of this revival was that divisions were healed. Divisions were restored. You know, of course, we have so much division in the world today in this moment. All you got to do is turn on the news and you are bombarded with the division that we see in the world. But we know too firsthand in this country what division can look like and how deep those wounds can really be. And when we think around what revival might look like when God moves in power, one characteristic that has so often marked revival has been a unity among the people. Casting aside racism, casting aside sectarianism, casting aside elitism, and embracing a unity that is only found in God. You know, I think of how much we need that in our time and in our place. And yes, we have known our own history of our own country and the vast pain and the hurt that has been caused by sectarianism in particular over the years. But what would it look like for God to bring revival in this land, in this moment? Maybe part of it would look like Protestants and Catholics, Unionists and Republicans coming together, encountering God's presence and love in such a way that they would unite and repent of sins, praising God, praying to God together. How good would that be? I want to leave you today with a verse from 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 8, and it just simply says this. It's Peter urging the church. He says, "Finally, all of you have unity of mind, sympathy, brotherly love, a tender heart, and a humble mind." Unity of mind, sympathy, brotherly love, a tender heart, and a humble mind. Be encouraged by that today, folks.